sound.
Speed.
Marker?
I'm gonna redo that one.
Show me your head!
Yeah, the actors are amazing. Everyone has an artistic viewpoint. Hollywood, baby.
Day 2, they had fruit snacks, which I was not expecting. That was a good day. Masquerade's basically kind of generally a story of people putting on masks really to kind of put on a whole other identity, especially around people if they're insecure. Just in real life, a lot of people, the phrase put on a mask is that you're trying to change your personality, and Masquerade kind of explores the concept of that and like how that changes a person, how that affects them in their day-to-day life.
I think this film is unique because we're all hiding behind our own masks in a way, and this film really brings that to light in a way that no other film does.
Whether we admit it or not, we do put on different personas in our lives depending on where we are or who we're with.
A lot of the times, it seems like you see a lot of films that are like, oh, we're tackling social issues, but you know, they don't really hit on things that are super relatable to people's lives. I think this message is huge for a lot of people right now, especially with social media.
Do you mind if we video call? You still there?
Yeah. Yeah, just give me a second.
Especially with me during high school, I totally was putting on a mask. One easy way that I made friends was, you know, just putting on this fake version of myself to other people and like almost matching their energy, which was definitely not mentally healthy.
We all have facades that we present to people. We all want to be seen in a certain way, and this film really exposes that and brings that to light and gives us an opportunity to look at ourselves and be introspective and think, what kind of mask am I presenting to other people? How do I want people to see me, and how does that differ from who I truly am? And I think the film encourages viewers to embrace who they truly are and to not hide behind that sort of facade in a way that's never been done before.
It's about this teenage boy who transfers to a new school and kind of wants to be somebody, and he goes to great lengths to try to get everyone to notice him.
Simon is basically kind of a very quiet dude. He's a new kid to the high school, and he's very much in the background. But he's watching the people on stage, and he longs to be in that spot.
One day after a theater performance, Simon discovers a mask in a box. He noticed that when he puts on the mask, he actually gets more attraction from the people around him. He gets the courage to speak to his crush, which is Sophia, while wearing the mask. And one day after the mask, he loses the mask into the possession of Sophia. He has to decide if he wants to either go on living his life go back to normal living his life as a person in the shadows, or does he want to take the risk of possibly jeopardizing his relationship with Sophia.
Hey, Sophia, I wanted to say that you,
Sophia is the character. She does a lot of performance at the theater. She ends up with Simon's mask, and Simon ends up going to her house to retrieve the mask, and there ends up being a confrontation, and everything kind of goes crazy from there.
Simon, it's late. Can we please talk?
Alex, I need your help. Sophia has something of mine, and I need it back!
Whoa. Slow down there. Did you write her a love letter, you perv?
What? No! Look, Alex, I just really need your help. And I'll do anything.
Fine. I'll be outside your house in 30 minutes.
The character of Simon, I found myself, the more I dive into this character, the more I relate to him. Because I started I did do theater in high school, and I was kind of late coming to the game. And when I moved high schools, my senior year of high school, I was like, you know what, I'm finally gonna do theater. I've always wanted to do it, never had the chance. And I started kind of looking up to the people on the stage and going, that's amazing. How much time did they spend doing that? How did they do that? Where are they drawing from? And so the character Simon I can kind of relate to just because he's looking at the people on stage and admiring them and wanting to kind of be in that position that they're at. I auditioned for the role over the summer, and I actually originally auditioned for Simon and Bryce. And I sent in 2 different audition tapes just to, I guess, show Jamie different ways I could do different characters and different emotions. They wanted me for the role of Simon. I was actually really pumped. That's the role I was going for. What's going on?
Since Bryce and I are a thing now, he has my locations on and he gets pissed if I don't meet him between periods.
Wait, you and Bryce the jock?
Sort of. Anyways, I gotta go. And please, don't bring your groupies. So my character is Alex. She's a bit of a sassy tomboy, which was one of the things that attracted me to this character. And you kind of see that she takes care of herself, but she also looks out for the little guy. And when those start to contrast each other and there's conflict there, you start to see what she really values.
Circle on to the next.
So I found the casting call on a Facebook group that I'm part of, and I originally passed by it because I didn't have all the material for it, but it kept nagging me. I realized that I could be a perfect fit for Alex, and I came back later to it, and I sent off my material, and then there was a little bit of back and forth talking about the character and the different intricacies there, and I got the email that I got the part.
Well, I gotta go get ready, so maybe I'll see you later. Sophia is a motivated, driven character who is very lonely and is afraid of being alone, and she does everything she can to do her best in life and to be with people and to connect with others as much as possible. I saw the Instagram account and I followed them and I DM'd them asking about auditions because it was the summer and I wanted to kind of audition for different projects, and I sent in a self-tape. And then we did an audition over Zoom, and then he emailed me and told me I got the part, so that was really exciting.
Damn, Sophia? How did you get her? So I play the role as Bryce. Bryce is more of a person who is very, don't want to say possessive, but he really holds on to any type of relationships that he come across. So I've been in the film industry going on 3.5 years now. Started out just an average Joe, working 9-to-5 job, just fall into that normal cycle of life. I've always had the passion for film. I never really got into it in high school or anything like that. I was more pushed into sports, kind of like Bryce. One day I just kind of like got off of a shift at work and I got in my car and literally just broke down in tears. Like, I did not want to continue to live through this cycle. Once I got my first 2 roles, I just had a love. There was nothing else that I wanted to do.
Simon, cut the music! Okay, everyone, start setting up for Act 2. This musical won't act itself.
I play Mrs. Weaver. She is a teacher at the school who runs the school's theater program. She's very kind and compassionate to her students, but she does expect for them to do things correctly, and it has to be right. I have acted for the last 3 years. It's primarily been theater work. That's really where I developed a love for acting. I've just recently gotten into film, but it's just so much to learn, and it's so exciting to bring these stories to life for other people to see.
rise to prominence?
When it comes down to it, I love the idea and I love the characters I created. And with a short, I had to cut so much stuff out of the final product. There was at least 10 to 15 minutes of content that I cut, which ultimately brought down character development for some of my side characters or the antagonist, and just at the end of the day, there's so much more to look into with this idea. So what I would love to do in the future is potentially writing a full-on feature with this idea, and having Masquerade, this short film, being more of a concept piece for that.
The look of the film was very contrast heavy. We wanted a lot of shadows and a lot of dark, sort of moody silhouettes at times, and somewhat minimal lighting, with just a lot of fall off with the shadow. And we decided that it would be interesting if in the story, when our main character is wearing the mask, that everything's locked down and smooth, and when they're not wearing a mask, things become shaky and sort of unsteady.
So when it came to designing a lot of the shots, a lot of it was honestly focused on camera motion. So whenever Simon was not wearing the mask, it would either be on tripod with a little jiggle to it, or it would be on a gunner, just to sort of add that like shaky cam look and make everything not feel as smooth and make everything feel a little chaotic, which was honestly what Simon's character was going through. He didn't feel like he belonged anywhere. But anytime he was wearing the mask, we would switch over to Steadicam or just full-on sticks, making everything as smooth and still as possible to almost bring a peace to Simon and whenever he was wearing the mask. And just by having that contrast with the camera motion really helped emphasize when he was or wasn't wearing the mask, if it was stated in the film or not.
In addition to having the camera shake, we also had a bit more of a claustrophobic frame. I opted for longer lenses more often when he wasn't wearing the mask, because that just let you, and I even got into some sort of tight spots. Like I had a few shots in Sophia's house where we are like under a table looking up at Bryce as he's like, yelling, and then we have a couple of shots that are through windows looking at characters, and so I try to use a lot of longer lenses to create frames within frames.
For the coloring of the film, one thing that we both designed together, almost just like with the camera movement, we decided whenever Simon was not wearing the mask to give everything almost like a desaturated, monochrome look, making everything feel cold and alone. But whenever he was wearing the mask, having it be bright and colorful and vibrant. Again, just to show that huge contrast between his emotions when he was and wasn't wearing the mask.
How I decide a look for a character is I read the script and I break it down. I break it down to everything that you may need and how many days there are that pass. So for Alex, I read her character and I got tomboy vibes, and I wanted her makeup to be a little more natural. I believe that when you're doing wardrobe and makeup and different things, you get to know the characters almost like you would as if you were acting as the character, because you have to design how they look. So Bryce, we wanted him in a varsity. That was like the one thing we wanted him to wear, was a varsity, because I created him as a football player, like the quarterback of the high school. I got to make the varsity jacket because we couldn't find the varsity jacket, so I ironed on letters and numbers on the back of the jacket. I got to do special effects makeup on Jeremiah, which was fun and a little challenging, but not too challenging. The hardest part was to make sure the blood stayed in the same place the whole time while we were shooting. This mask is not like your typical theater mask. It is about 5 layers of hard plastic. And she wouldn't break at all. I stood on her, I hit her with a hammer, I pretty much did everything. And so finally I just ended up sawing her. It took me like 2 hours to saw her in half. And then we had to figure out how to get it to fall off his face. This is what she looks like. We had to use spirit gum. I don't know if you can see that, but there's spirit gum all on the inside. And we put it all over our actor's Jeremiah's face. So yeah, that was fun.
Anticipation, what a sensation for whom I might find.
Exhilaration, slight hesitation for who I will make mine.
So when it came down to the intro song, I got one of my friends, Lee, who does amazing work to fully write out the song. And then I had my composer, Abigail Wessner, play all the songs with her instruments, and then we did recordings with Bethany and Ashley for the vocals. So on set, we played that song over and over again for almost a whole day, and it was honestly so much PTSD because of it. PTSD in a good way, at least now looking back on it. Sometimes.
PTSD? That's a thing?
This way. You can then move out of the way when the camera gets here, and we'll get here.
So we learned that choreography pretty much right before we shot. We had maybe 45 minutes to kind of figure everything out. And I can dance. I swear, I can dance. It just takes me a little while.
The choreography was awesome. It was super fun. I've done theater since I was 9. So I've done mainly musicals, and I've done a lot of dance. So tap, jazz, ballet, a little bit of modern. I've done some swing dancing in the past, so it kind of felt like that, or kind of like ballroom dancing. So it was really neat. I love to dance, so that was really exciting for me to be able to do that.
The intro song is all about, the play within the film is about these 2 girls who are going to this masquerade dance. Shocking. And their whole thing is, we're gonna wear masks so that we can get with our lover and he won't know who we are, and a fun one night. And that sort of foreshadows what happens in the film with, Simon's character finding this mask and faking himself to his love interest, Sophia, and the people around him, ultimately leading up to the end with his downfall. The rest of the music and score in the film was done by Abigail Wessner. When we were designing the score for this film, the biggest aspect was figuring out something that fit, not only the genre, but something that could eventually evolve over the film. So when it came down to the actual instruments, I love strings. Honestly, I love the whole feeling of orchestra music, and again, playing into the whole theater aspect of the film. When you go and sit down in a theater, I always love it when you hear all the instruments, starting to get played before the movies or before the play starts, and hearing those authentic sounds of instruments being played versus the stereotypical synthesized instruments from different programs nowadays. It just gives off a whole different feeling, which is one big reason why I got Abigail as my composer, because she records all of her stuff live. So when it came down to the actual design of the music, I gave Abigail a lot of free will with that. But the main things was it had to have strings, and then also there had to be a theme for whenever the mask actually came on screen. I completely forget what instrument it was, but what she ended up doing was she ended up taking one of her instruments and putting, I think, pennies under the strings and playing it that way.
Hey! I think you forgot this.
As the film goes on, it starts changing. We definitely focus a lot on making the audience feel anxious, especially during very high intense scenes. Like for example, when Simon is sitting in his bedroom after he's lost the mask. There's one shot at the very end that it's a slow zoom out on Simon as he's on the phone with Alex, basically trying to convince her to help him break into Sophia's house to get the mask back. And during that shot, there's just a constant beat that's playing and nothing else. And that combined not only with the acting, but also with that slow zoom out, it makes everything just feel stressful. So the credits I designed after another film called Call Me By Your Name. I love that film, and for the end credits, what they decided to do was have a solo shot on the main character as he sits in front of a fireplace and cries. And all the credits basically just pop up on the screen on the left hand. And I loved this feeling of being sorry for the character. And you could agree with what the main character did or what he didn't do in that film. But no matter what your views were, everyone at the end of the film felt sorry for the character and what he was put through. And that's why I wanted it to feel like in Masquerade. So for the final shot, it was designed to be this close-up on Simon's face with half of the mask on, after the other half had fallen off after being tackled. And the police officer puts him in handcuffs and then takes him out. And he ends up, when he walks out of that close-up, he ends up walking out of focus, which just creates this whole blurred look that I love, that thankfully Noah designed that and it worked perfectly. When I was talking to my composer, I gave her that end credit scene from Call Me By Your Name, and it was a song called Visions of Gideon that was playing, and it's very somber, it's very peaceful, but again just brings this feeling of sorrow to you. So I showed her that and I was like, yeah, just create something like this. I don't really have any big idea, but this is the emotion feeling I'm going for. And she was like, okay, perfect. So a week later, she sent me the first draft of the end credit song. So, I put my headphones on, I started listening to it, and I thought it was just going to be all instrumentals, because that's what it was for, the rest of the score. So I was listening to it, and I was like, okay, I like this. And all of a sudden, someone started singing, and I was like, holy crap, this is incredible. So I didn't even finish the song at that point. I literally picked up my phone, and I texted Abigail, and I was like, who is singing in this song? And she texted me back, and she was like, oh, is it really that bad? And I was like, oh, you gotta be joking. So I picked up my phone and I called her up and I was like, dude, it's incredible. Like she got the feeling perfect the very first time.
I have to admit I was a little intimidated at first because I'd never met any of these people before. I met them when I came on set, but we just clicked right away and they've been super, super kind. I'm a lot younger than them, but they've been super understanding and they don't treat me like I'm younger, which is awesome.
I think my favorite moment so far was a shot we did yesterday. We were in a hallway and I had to kind of rearrange myself real quick. I was like, oh, my crush is coming. Sophia, Simon's crushing this character called Sophia, and I saw her kind of walking up to me, and I went, oh, okay, this is time. Like, hey, I thought you did great. And there's a moment where I kind of like fix my hair in a mirror real quick, kind of reposition myself. Wait, no, that's not right. I gotta do this. I'm like, oh, this is cool. Nope. But just the awkwardness of that moment for Simon was pretty fun to try to portray.
My most memorable thing so far is the cop scene with Simon.
I called the day before the scene, the Bedford police, just to see if we could get a cop for the shot.
And we did, I believe it was 7 takes of that setup. I had, camera on the Steadicam, and I was being spotted as I kind of walked down the stairs as the character went through their marks and their beats. And for lighting, we had two 1.2K HMIs up above up on the windows of the house, and they were kind of beaming down to sort of give a hair light, which I thought looked a lot like moonlight, and to sort of give a bit more light on the face. I had a grip running next to me with a beadboard bouncing. I think it was a 2x2 beadboard or something like that, bouncing light into the face of the talent.
Watch where you going, man.
Definitely just because of COVID, we didn't want to bring a lot of our extras on set. That was something we were very wary of, just, to keep crew and cast members down. So what we ended up doing for extras was we actually ended up pulling from different departments of our crew. Like for example, in a lot of the theater scenes, you can see Kayla and Amelia, my production designer and my makeup artist, in the background doing stuff with props and working with costumes as if there was an active theater going on. When it came to the library scene, I did have like 2 focused extra spots. I had Simon and Cam come on, which honestly they blew me away. It's one of my, in my opinion, one of the funniest spots of the entire film, because all that role really was just 2 guys wanting to hang out with Simon just to show again or emphasize that he was wearing a mask, and everyone just wanted to spend time with him because he was popular now. And I literally just told them, like, hey, we just have a 2-shot on you, like, just wave, get his attention, just act very, very nice and friendly. And it definitely turned out a little more flamboyant and a little more gay than what was originally designed, but I honestly love it so much. It's so funny, and it gives at least a moment for the audience just to breathe and just a moment just to be like, it's just a funny moment before moving on to Alex and Simon's conversation. But out of nowhere, I heard that people were making a mini commercial for Game Fuel, I think it was?
G Fuel.
G Fuel.
Now let's have a word from our sponsor.
Performance energy.
Zero sugar.
Extreme focus.
It comes in pints.
G Fuel.
G Fuel.
The most fun is honestly in between takes when we goof off while we're waiting for everyone to check the gate and make sure everything's gone well. So while we're setting up for the next take, Bethany and I sometimes do goofy dances, or we laugh a lot or make jokes, so that's super fun.
See, moments like this. A lot of the fun moments happen behind the camera, for sure. When it's 2 in the morning.
Quiet on set, please.
Oh, that's my job. Quiet on set. When it's 2 a.m. and the crew's just kind of really tired and really just done.
Yeah.
Just want to get off set. But you really start to bond that way.
Yeah, exactly.
So I really like
you get to know
moments.
people better, and you just see another side of them you don't see while you're in class.
For this film, I find the writing, the directing, and the acting to be very much real, very gripping, and very much true to reality, and very much telling a story that we need to hear. It's been a fantastic experience. Everybody is so friendly and respectful and professional.
Everyone on set's been, the experience on set has been really, really fun. Everyone seems to be pretty tight-knit. There are pretty lighthearted moments, there are some good laughs. but people also know how to buckle down as well, so there's the nice mixture of that. So overall, it's been really, really fun.
I'm taking it fully as a learning experience, and I am so proud and thankful of everyone who was on my crew and cast. I cannot thank them enough.
You guys are awesome.
Thanks.